Welcome into the Lounge, presented by DraftKings. I'm Ryan Mink here with Garrett Downing, and we are thrilled to sit down with Defensive Coordinator Zach Orr. Zach, it was about a year ago that you sat down with us, fresh off getting hired to the job. Definitely. So, just what was the past year like for you?
Man, it was a whirlwind. It was fun. It was exciting. It had its ups and downs, obviously, but it was good, man. It was a real good learning experience as a man, as a coach. And I'm just excited for this next year. But it definitely was, from the last time I sat in here and talked to you guys to this point now, a lot has transpired.
Yeah. Was the worst part of the job having to answer questions from us every Thursday during the season?
No, definitely. It was a lot more.
The best part of the job, right?
That was one of the best parts. It was a lot more difficult things to handle besides that, trust me.
So what was the biggest takeaway for you? Like, when you look back at what you learned, the highs and lows, like, what's the biggest thing you're taking away from your first year as a DC?
My biggest thing is just keep on staying with the process, man. Keep staying with the process and, stick to what you know, stick to what you do, whether it's on the field or off the field. But, obviously you can make changes to it. But I think that's the thing that we did, especially where we started out on defense to where we finished. We stuck to the process, man. We stuck to who we were. We made changes when they needed to be made, whether it was scheme, personnel, but our principles that we stand on never changed. I think that's what ultimately helped us get on the right track of things.
I'm curious, you talk about those changes that were made, and obviously the personnel changes made a big difference. You finished the year down the stretch, you were the best defense in the league, right? And you talk about scheme also, and I know at midseason you were kind of talking about simplifying things a little bit. Can you just take us a little bit more into what those changes were, how they impacted defense, and then any lessons learned from that now you carry forward to this year?
Yeah, I think it started off a little bit with just eliminating as much communication as possible, whether that's me to Roquan and then from the players to the players, just getting to a lot of the same things, but just eliminating words and just let the guys have one or two words they say. Everybody knows what front, what coverage, what adjustments we're in, and then go from there. And then I think also as well is, man, we got great players, and we were able to play man and play some spot drop, let guys play fast, and the players took ownership in that and did that. So I think that's the main things that took place from a scheme standpoint is allowing our guys to go out there and communicate fast, and then just calling more defenses where they can go out there and just play fast and let their talent just truly show.
Like fewer zone coverages and disguises and those kind of things?
We was actually still able to get to our disguises. We still disguise. The disguises never changed,
Gotcha.
Really, but just as far as what type of coverages we were playing behind the disguises was just a little simpler.
Gotcha.
This is technical, but when you're calling a play into Roquan, and this is maybe where it was shortened up. Yeah. I mean, did you literally just shorten up what you're calling to him, and then he is then communicating that out to the rest of the defense?
Yeah. Just shorten up the call to say, hey, this one word means all these different things. Now, you appreciate the players because it put maybe more learning on them on the front end during the week, but at least on game day allowed them to go out there and communicate faster.
Interesting. I'm curious what last year, especially when you go back to middle of the season, it was a struggle a little bit, and the defense, like, it's your first year as a defensive coordinator, and you're a young guy that's in this job, and like, of course you feel the pressure and know like the stakes of it, and the defense wasn't playing as well as you knew that they could, and the players knew that they could. How did you personally handle that challenge at that time?
Man, it was, I handled it like I think I handle everything else in my life, man, and just I always preach and talk about it. We talk about that all the time here and in our defensive room. Is just adversity you're gonna face adversity, whether it's in football or it's gonna be in life. And we always talk about the true testament of a man or a human being is how do you handle adversity when it strikes? Are you gonna fold, or are you gonna make something of it and come out on the other side of it? And obviously nobody wants to face adversity. We didn't want to face the adversity that we faced, but we did. And I think that was opportunity. We flipped it's all about the mindset. You can be like, why is this happening, or how are we going to make this a great story? And I think the players, the coaches, everybody in the building, we took that approach of like, let's make something special about the situation that we're in. Let's come out and let's finish strong. Let's finish in the top 10. Let's be one of the top defenses in the league down the stretch, and let everybody talk about what a great story it was, instead of just feeling sorry for ourselves and letting this thing go downhill.
And you did that. I mean, we wrote those stories. We talked about that story.
Yeah.
I'm curious, it's a tough spot also to have to make those personnel changes, right? Like that's not easy, especially for a first year coordinator. Yeah. Can you talk about that process and then the players having your back in that process? I think how much that meant to you.
I think just the process is every single week, man. It's funny. Like, we tell the guys, and they know this, we evaluate the team every single day, honestly. And then every single week we look at the big picture. And with those personnel changes, we just really had to look at what was going to help us get this thing turned around. And we felt like those changes we made were changes we had to make to get us to where we needed to go. And I think the second part of your question is with the players. I mean, it felt good, man, because ultimately, we talk about it being a brotherhood, right? It's a partnership, however you want to call it, between coaches and players. Right. And I tell those guys, man, I got your guys back. Like, I'm not going to sell you guys out. I'm going to try to do everything I can in my power to help you guys out in any type of way. That's how all our coaches are. We're here to serve the players.
Right.
And just for the players to have the coaches back, they didn't have to do that. But for them to have our back, it felt good, man. It really felt us connected. And I think that when you're connected as a group, anything they're trying to do, whether it's a football team or whether it's a group project, if everybody on the same page, you're connected, you have that bond, you can do some special things. And I think we were able to do that.
It's got to be cool to see in that whole scenario a guy like Ardarius Washington, and he finally gets his shot. Yeah. And then to see him really run with it and play as well as he did, that had to be a special feeling for you.
It definitely is a special feeling because AD is a perfect example of what we tell guys. Man, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And AD has always made plays. Whenever he had his opportunity to play, even a couple years ago, he's done well. And you watch him in practice. You ask any of the coaches, any of the players, even on the offensive side, who makes a lot of plays on defense in practice? Ardarius Washington, number 29, AD. So he always stayed ready. So whenever his opportunity came, he made the most of it. And we tell guys all the time, you never know when your opportunity is going to come, and you never know if it's going to be your last opportunity. So when it happens, you have to make the most of it. So he's the perfect example for that. That's going to be an example, a situation that we're going to talk about for years to come.
I'm curious for you. You obviously have the experience of a player not that long ago, but something I've said about you, I've told you this, and I've said this to other people. Like, you made the transition to coaching when you became a coach. Like, you were a coach. Like, you weren't necessarily sitting at the same table at the lunchroom anymore with the same guys. Like, you became a coach. You were sitting with the coaches, not the players, right? And so when you go through the experience last year of being a coordinator and having to have some real conversations with players, I'm curious how the experience of a player and knowing what it's like to have those conversations from a player standpoint fit in. And then also, as you're a coordinator, does that transition continue even more from like, I'm not a position coach anymore, I'm the coordinator now, I'm kind of rising up the ladder, and then that even changes my relationship even more with players compared to what it was, previously?
Yeah, I think for the first part of your question, I think the benefit of me being a player, I kind of know what the conversations were like in the locker room of what players, what were good feedback from players, what was bad feedback from a player standpoint. So I try to use those situations and incorporate it to like having those conversations with guys. So ultimately it comes down to dudes want you to be honest with them. Right. They just want you to be honest and upfront. Might not like what's happened or what the situation is, but as long as you let them know what's going on, then I think at the end of the day, they'll respect you. So always try to do that. And then the second part of it is the relationship has, I wouldn't say it's changed for me as a coordinator to the players. I have to be more intentional with my relationship because I'm not in the position rooms. I'm not around them as much as I was when I was a position coach. When I was a position coach, you kind of around the players more because you're in the meeting rooms with those guys. They're more willing to kind of talk to you, more as a position coach, as a coordinator, especially the people who don't really know you, young guys coming in or guys coming from different teams, they kind of shy away a little bit. So now in this position, I have to be a little bit more intentional of, I see a guy walking in the hallway, grab me, hey, how you doing? Whether it's about football or not about football. So I don't think my relationship has really changed because ultimately, like I said, it's a partnership, it's a brotherhood. It's a player-coach relationship, and I think to get the best out of those relationships, you have to know these guys on on another level than just the jersey number or the name on the back of the jersey.
I'm curious, Chuck Pagano is coming back.
Oh,
you have 2 former Ravens defensive coordinators on your staff and a former head coach now in Chuck. Just what do you anticipate that Chuck will bring to the mix?
Man, he's going to bring everything. I mean, he's going to bring from a standpoint of, first of all, with our DBs and secondary, he has wealth of knowledge in that. So he's gonna bring great knowledge, great teaching of the game, of the DB position, safety, corner, nickel, whatever you want to, all those positions in the back end we ask those guys to play. He's gonna bring a wealth of knowledge to that. He's gonna bring energy, man. I know you guys probably seen him on the Pat McAfee show. I told him, I said, I seen you on the Pat McAfee show, so I know you still got a lot of energy left in you, and he definitely does. So he's gonna bring great energy. Great positive energy to the whole organization. I think I'll bring it to the whole team, not just in the DB room, not just on the defense. I think I'll bring it to everybody. And then, for me, he's been a coordinator. He's been a successful coordinator in this league, right? So he's seen a lot of situations. He understands kind of some of the things that I have to manage and go through. So he's going to be able to help me out in that aspect as well. So I'm fired up about Chuck Pagano being back here. It's going to be great, man. I know a lot of people who were here with him before speak highly of him. Just me getting a chance to work with him this past couple months already, it's been phenomenal. Even with the other coaches that we brought in. So, man, I'm real excited about the coaching staff this year and what we're going to be able to bring to our players. I think they're going to be real excited about the guys that we have in. I'm
also curious about Tyler Santucci, another hire. And, you went to the college ranks. He was an up-and-coming kind of college coach. Can you take me in? I want to hear about what Tyler's going to bring, but also, it seems like it turned over every rock. It's not just like, all right, let's look at the NFL level, but, hey, the college ranks, see who's up-and-coming. It seemed like you guys poured a lot into that process.
Definitely, man. And that's literally led by Coach Harbaugh and Eric DaCosta, man. And I think that comes probably from the top with Steve Bisciotti, from the sense of we want to find the best people and coaches. So that doesn't necessarily mean they always in the National Football League. It might be a great college coach who's looking to get in. So
might be somebody on the Pat McAfee show.
Might be. There you go. We got somebody off the Pat McAfee show that was on ESPN just doing the gritty and everything. So leave no stone unturned, like you say that, and that's really approach. So we do that. We talk to people, figure it out, and Tyler Santucci was a name that popped up, and we knew some people that have worked with him. And we talked to him, talked to those people, say he's great, phenomenal. He did a heck of a job on his interview, and he's gonna bring a great, like I said, wealth of knowledge, energy to the linebacker room. And then he's been a coordinator, been successful as a coordinator at the college level. So he's going to bring great ideas to our defensive staff as well. So I'm fired up about Santucci being here.
Yeah.
So you have some new coaches like Tyler and Chuck that we just talked about. What is the focus right now as these new coaches are in place here? You're working on things throughout the offseason. Of course, you're getting ready for the draft. Yep. But what is the overall focus right now for the defensive staff?
So right now the focus for us is it's like we're doing triple duty, quadruple duty, however you want to say it. But first thing is we always go through the self-scout. We look at ourselves from last year. What did we do well? What can we do better? What we need to improve on? So we take a part of the day to do that, right? How can we put our best players in the best position to really play to their strengths? How can we play to the strengths of our players? All right, so we're looking at that. Then we're teaching them the system because, a lot of new coaches are here. So it's always good to go back through the system. But now we're taking it through every, like a fine tooth comb, going through every detail of it. And this is how we taught it. This is how we've done it. How have you guys done it? And sometimes there's no changes made. Sometimes it's like, man, that's a better way to do that. Let's see how it fits, and we come up with new schemes, new plays like that. Then you have the talent evaluation that you have to do. So free agency, the draft. So we spend the afternoons looking at draft prospects, grading those people, seeing how they fit in our system. Same with free agency. So we're doing a lot. We're pretty busy, man. I'm pleased where we're at, how we're working, but that's what a full day looks at. And then we're getting workouts in as well. So.
From a schematic standpoint, how much different do you think how much do things evolve from year one to year two? And do you feel like you're much further ahead than where you were last year when you're really trying to figure out, all right, what's my stamp going to be? How am I going to change this from what Mike had done and whatnot?
Yeah, I think that the good thing is about here is the system, but it does evolve from year to year. It definitely does that. And I think for me being in this position again, and the players understanding who I am, me understanding who the players are and how we want to call the game, I think now we understand what our niche is and what we need to really truly focus on this offseason and continue to build on that to make the coverages, the pressures, the fronts all complement each other where offenses can't get a beat on us. Because now, especially second half of the season, teams are going to be scouting that and looking to see how they can attack that. So now we have to be ahead of them in the curve and build on that.
You mentioned calling the game. Like last year when we had this conversation, we probably asked you 5 questions about calling plays for the first time, and that was like the big conversation. What did you think about calling plays for the first time, and what did you learn about it?
I mean, it's fun. It's fun. It's definitely fun, especially when the players make the plays work. But I think that is really just get a fast call in. You've done the work throughout the week. Right. So we have great players, man. They done a great job of acquiring players here, putting this thing together. Make a fast call. Let the players go out there and go play. Like the play is on the call sheet for a reason. Like we game plan. It's not like we just grabbed a random call sheet and said, hey, call the game with this call sheet. No, we have all the calls are good calls. A bad call is when you get a call in late or you second guessing yourself. So get the call in fast to the guys. Trust the preparation. Let them go out there and go play. And I think that I got better at that, especially second half of the season. I felt more comfortable. And the players, I think it helped the players out to really let them go out there and play fast and go do their thing.
Well, you talk about great players. Someone who's a great player is Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah.
And this is somebody who, he's one of the rising stars in this game. And John Harbaugh and Eric Costa have talked this offseason about adding other safeties to the mix in part that allows Kyle to do all the different things that he does. As you're building out the defense, you guys are sitting in those meetings and having conversations about how to use players in the best way. What does that look like for Kyle Hamilton?
Shoot. Just make sure he out there. Make sure he out there on the field. I mean, he's impactful and can make plays from every part of the field. And you look at it, especially second half of the season, we started playing them further back from line of scrimmage. Well, a lot of the explosive plays went away because quarterbacks didn't want to throw the ball with him back there. He covers a lot of ground, got us communicated well, got us lined up right. So I think that what it looks for him is wherever you want to put him, and he can adjust to whoever else we have out there on the field with him. So you're always trying to figure out ways to get him close to the line of scrimmage to blitz him because he's a heck of a blitzer. He's one of our best blitzers, right? He's effective doing that. He's a great tackler in space, but then you also want him to do stuff in the back end as well because he covers a lot of ground and he has real good ball skills. So, I mean, he's one of the easiest guys to figure out how to put him in the best position because he's never in a bad position. Honestly, he's really not. So I think that us, trying to find another safety to complement Kyle, complement AD, that's just what we like to do. We like to play a lot with a lot of DBs and speed on the field, especially in passing situations. We like to have a lot of guys who can do a lot of different things. Right. That helps in with the disguises like we talked about. That helps in with offenses confusing them. They not knowing where guys are going to be at. So I think that's more of where we're looking at for the third safety is just to continue to add versatility to the defense.
Do you see cornerback in the same light? Because Marlon is also, like Kyle, so good playing near the line of scrimmage. You want to get him around the ball. He's a good blitzer. He's physical, all those things. So do you view that in the same light of you want another corner to help him be versatile? Definitely, for sure. That I think a third safety and a third corner is real valuable position, especially in our system, just from the standpoint that it allows our guys to move around freely and allows them to be able to move around based on the opponent that we're playing. Right. And like Marlon, he's a guy who can play. If you need him to play in the slot and play at the nickel position, he can do that. He was all pro at that position. If you need him to play on the outside, depending on who you're playing, he can do that. He's an all pro at that position. Right. So just those different chess pieces
allows us to do so much on defense, and it's the players that make it happen. Like the two guys you named are two of the best players in the league, and I can name that. I can do that for Roquan Smith. I could say the same thing for Justin Madubuike. All those guys up front. You see our guys up front, they line up over the tackle, over the guards, over the center, our interior guys and our edge guys. So I think that's the beauty of how Eric and those guys have built this team. Is we have a lot of versatile players, not guys who can only play one position, which makes it great for us as coaches.
What did you see from Nate Wiggins in year one when you go back and look at his season in totality? How much did he grow throughout the course of the year?
Nate grew so much, man. He grew so much. Loved, like I just was talking at lunch today. I'm shocked that he went 30. They dropped to 30. And I remember he came on his visit. We told him, it's like, look, man, if you sitting there, I doubt you'll be there at 30, but if you there, we might have to move some furniture to make sure that you a Baltimore Raven. But everybody was on the same page, and we got him. And so we knew he was talented, knew the football character there, loved football, competitor. He was going to be a heck of a player. But you saw his growth. It's always a learning curve, man, for a rookie when they come into the league, especially at that position. I mean, he's out there at the outside corner position. You're on that island. A lot of times you're going to end up being on a lot of top receivers.
Yeah. Covering CeeDee Lamb week 3.
Yeah, covering CeeDee Lamb. Welcome to the NFL.
Exactly.
And he understood like the speed of the game. He was able to adapt to the speed of the game and how important technique was, how important you had to play with technique every single play. Like all of us, you played college football. If you make it to this level, 9 times out of 10, you were better than the man across from you. So you can get away with a lot of different things. And that's like every rookie. He saw that I can't slip on my technique because no matter how talented I am, the quarterbacks are too good, the receivers are too good that I'm either going to get called for a flag or I'm going to give up a play. Yeah. And once he realized that, and he honed in on the technique, he got better and better every single week. And that started in practice. That started in practice in the classroom. He got better every single week, and you really started to see it down the stretch, man. He was really locked down for us. He's a big piece of our team, our defense going into year 2. And we expect him to be one of the best corners in the National Football League. Wow. We expect him to take that jump from year 1 to year 2, a real big jump. And he has the ability and the talent to do it. So we got it. Along with him, we had to help him get him there, and I'm confident we'll do that.
He's going to be 100% of the snaps kind of guy out there outside?
Yes, I definitely feel that. I definitely feel that he's going to be that guy.
It's exciting.
Yeah, so I'm curious also about the pass rush as we're kind of working our way around the defense. Yeah. There's been conversation about the pass rush, and do you add a pass rusher? And you're always looking to add at that position. Yeah. On one hand, sure, that'd be great. Add more pass rushers, that's always exciting. On the other hand, it's like, well, the Ravens were second in the league in sacks last year. You had 2 guys who were double digits in sacks in Van Noy and Odafe Owe. Yep. So how do you view that pass rush conversation?
I mean, first thing is pass rush is important. You definitely need guys who can go get the quarterback. That is very important, right? You need guys who can go get the quarterback. You can never have too many of those guys. You never can. I think the most important thing, though, is you have to have a group that can go get the quarterback. It's not a guy who could win a one-on-one. You could be an edge guy and beat the offensive tackle, but your 3 technique, he doesn't middle push, he doesn't cover the B gap, and the quarterback escapes. So yeah, you won your rush, but the quarterback got out the pocket. Right. It's 4 guys rushing as 1. And I think you look at the group of guys that we have and that we're gonna look to continue to add, those guys preach that, we preach that. We all work together to go get the QB. And it's beautiful to see that group work together, man. They're into it. Of course, those guys love going to get the quarterback, which we love. But you see the preparation in the meeting room, you see the preparation in practice, and you see the rush plan that those guys go out there and execute that's helped put together by Dennis Johnson, Matt Robinson, and obviously Chuck Smith. And those guys go out there and go execute it. And it just happened to be, it was great, man. Like, we got guys who can go get the quarterback one-on-one. Like, you line up Odafe Owe, Kyle Van Noy, Justin Madubuike, Travis Jones, Tavius Robinson. I can name the whole group, Broderick Washington. I line those guys up one-on-one. They could win, but it's how they work together, man. And I think that's what makes it beautiful and special. And that's why you see the last couple of years we've been top of the league in sacks. So it's 4 guys working together to get the QB. And then, obviously you add in the DBs. We got DBs who can blitz, and we got linebackers who can blitz as well.
Right. I think fans too often just put pass rush and sacks on the outside linebackers. It just feels that way. They're like, go get a pass rusher, and they're talking about an edge. Yeah. Right. And and I, like you're saying, it's a holistic, you have to take a holistic look at it. Yeah. How much do you feel like another defensive lineman, a penetrating kind of style, 3-tech or whatnot, could help Nnamdi, kind of get back to his previous numbers, his sack production, and elevate this whole group?
Definitely. I think all the edge guys, which, I know here they know football, but any edge guy who knows ball, they will tell you, I need a middle push presence. I need somebody in the middle that's going to help me, because if you don't push the pocket from the inside, then the edge guys have so long a way to go to run around to get to the quarterback. So you want to kind of compress that pocket. So having that in middle push, another interior guy who can go get the QB, who can command respect, is so important. And we have those guys, but like I said, you can never have enough of them. And I think with the second part, it will help out. It'll help out Mattabeeks for sure. But I think this year Mattabeeks actually helped out the other guys on the edge because he commanded more attention.
Gotcha.
And he still did his thing. I think he played great in our eyes. The numbers weren't what they were a year ago. Yeah. But look at the numbers of the people around you.
Right.
They ate as well. Now they ate off of you as well. Now they had to go win rushes, but you were a part of that.
Right.
So like I said, it goes back to that deal of all these guys working together, man. But that interior push is so important. If you ask quarterbacks, the guys running around them on the edge, okay, that's cool. The natural reaction is do what? First thing I'm gonna do is try to step up. Yeah. Right. Well, if I can't step up, now I try to go backwards. That's where the strip sacks happen. Right. That's where the edge guys just collect their sacks. So that middle push in the pocket is so important.
I'm curious. Michael Pierce announced his retirement. Oh, man, how much does that hurt? And I know a lot of us kind of felt like, all right, it could be coming. It wasn't a total shock.
Definitely.
But how tough is he to replace? Travis Jones played a lot of snaps last year. Yeah. Do you see him kind of stepping into that role? But he's also another one. He's so good. Yeah. You also want to turn him loose to get the passer too, because he's such a just beast that way. Definitely. So how do you see that all kind of playing out?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely hurt for multiple reasons. First thing, man, Mike's a great dude, great person, great guy in the locker room, in the building. You can never have enough of those people, right? Yeah. Great player in his role, what we ask him to do. He's a guy, you can look at the stat sheet. He ain't gonna show up in the stat sheet a lot, but he's gonna command double teams. He's been a major part of why we've been able to play real good run defense the last couple of years, because if you don't double him, he's gonna make the play, or the lineman's gonna be in the backfield. And when you do double team him, he's not getting pushed off the ball. He's gonna, worst case scenario, he's gonna stalemate you, and now the backers are gonna be free. Right. So that is very tough to replace. Now we had Travis Jones as well, so we were just rolling two guys. Hey, you're tired, you need a breather, go out there. Right. So that standpoint. Another reason why it hurts is, man, I seen Michael Pierce when he first came in as a rookie, man, in 2016. Never forget the game he had in New Orleans. Never forget just
sack
watching
strip touchdown in the preseason. That was epic.
Man. It was epic, man. Epic. We still talk about it to this day. So it's like seeing the beginning of his career all the way through, man. An undrafted guy making a mark in his league, getting paid, coming back, helping grow a new group. From him being a young guy to him being a old head, what we call in the football world. And leading a group of guys, man, was great. So he's gonna be tough to replace, man. He's gonna be tough to replace. It's a lot of great guys out there in free agency. A lot of great guys on the draft. We love the guys we have on our roster right now, but you can never have enough big guys. Right. Honestly, you really never can. And I think that's what makes this place unique. Like Coach Harbaugh, Eric, those guys put an emphasis, man, we need to have some big guys in the middle of our defense that command double teams, that's going to eat up blocks so we can play great run defense, because that's where defense starts with. You have to be able to stop the run.
Well, you're going to need another ball-hawking defensive tackle.
Yeah,
right? I mean, who's going to get the interceptions?
I forgot about that. Definitely, that is true. That is definitely true, because What's crazy about that play, man, that play's been around for a long time. Yeah. And we always tell those guys, and people first see it, why you got these big guys out here dropping? Why you got these big guys dropping? It's a rhyme to it. It's a reason for it. But we always tell those guys to help sell it. It's true. It's like, man, get to this landmark, snap your head back, the ball might hit you in your hands. And at least my time here, it might have happened in practice maybe once or twice, right? But it's never happened in a game. And for it to happen in that moment, man, was so great and so memorable. It was crazy. Like I was speechless. I was speechless, man. I was speechless. It was great. Now when we told him we got to work on that slide. Now that scared everybody, but it was great, man. That was great. We do need another ball hawk, and he set the standard now.
It's
he
true.
Set the tone, so
it's true.
When you're looking at film of these guys for agency or the draft, like, look at the hands.
Yeah, let me see what the hands look like. Definitely. Because what's crazy, if he would have dropped it, he would have got graded a minus on the play. Missed opportunity, big play. So I'm glad he caught it, man. That was such a great play, man. Great hands, great athleticism. I mean, that's crazy, man. It's gonna live forever.
I still wish he would have tried to take it back.
I know, run a little bit.
I know.
Would have been
amazing.
Run a little
bit. He got a stiff arm, man. He's been good.
He had the all-time quote though when he said the bus is out of gas.
That's true. It definitely was.
So before you go, I got to ask you about this. So your family, the family business is coaching. It's football, man. Your family business is. I've loved getting to know your family over the years, and your brother's played and now coaching. Yeah. But what's up? So the Chiefs just hired your brother.
I know.
As a defensive quality.
This is kind of not cool. I'm happy for him. Happy for the fam.
And this is his first job in the NFL, right?
Yeah, it's his first job in national football.
So he calls you and he's like, "Hey, Zach, good news. Yeah. I got a job. I'm working in the NFL, but it's for the Chiefs." Like, how did this conversation go?
Man, so it's crazy. I knew it was a possibility, because he actually did a summer internship with the Chiefs this past summer. Okay. And I was like, there's no other teams you can do an internship with. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, so go ahead. I know that's what you want to do. So he went and did that. And, obviously we know some coaches over there. We know, I know Spags. I know Joe Cullen. Got a chance to know a couple other coaches over there. And they say he did a remarkable job, a heck of a job. And I was like, man, that's good, man. I'm proud of my brother. He did a good job. Yeah. So I'm happy for him. Happy for that. Okay, so then, he goes back. He's coaching at Jackson State. They do a good job, win a national championship. Happy for him. And then he actually was on an interview with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was interviewing for a position on their staff. So I'm okay, cool. You're going to Jacksonville, new staff. I was sending them places, good places.
You were there for a year, right?
These are good places, good areas, for your family. And then he calls me later that day and was like, yeah, I'm going to go to Kansas City. I'm like, what? I'm like, you going to Kansas City? And I was like, let me say, okay, I'm happy for you. I'm real happy for you. I love you. I know this is what you want to do. Happy for you. Going to obviously a great organization with some great coaches that we got great respect for. But then I was like, all right, man, we talk all the time. I said, now during the season, man, we're going to have to, we got to just keep it just family. Don't talk to me about football. Don't ask me no questions. Like, I don't know if I really can help you out. Like, I don't have it in me. I can't do that. Like, you are the competition. Right. And my whole family's on board with that. Like, they told him. Now, besides his wife and his daughter, but my parents, my other brothers, my son, my nephews, my nieces, they Raven fans.
Yeah, they
Raven fans. They Raven fans. They said he tried to. Are you gonna root? No.
They told him no. It's on both.
Loved it.
We're sticking with the Ravens.
Told him that. Sticking with the Ravens. So he understands that. And then we told him. We said, man, look, man, you just got there. This is a relationship that's been built up over time. Yeah. We'll talk to you. We love you and everything, but we rock with the purple and black.
Oh, so I love it.
It's definitely gonna be interesting, man. It's definitely gonna be interesting. But all in all, I'm happy for him.
That is so funny.
Yeah, I'm happy.
All right, my last question is, we've talked a lot about kind of takeaways from last season, lessons learned and whatnot. And when you went back and reviewed the tape and you look at the tape of when you jumped on Ardarius's back, that Christmas game.
Yeah. That's what he's really been working on right now.
Right. What's the takeaway? What's the lesson learned that you're going to apply for next year when it comes to celebrating with your players?
Man, the takeaway is, shoot, honestly, I tell people this, like, I really didn't know I did that. I really didn't. I was so amped up and so fired up. Like, I blacked out. I didn't know that happened until after the game. my people showed me that we were down there in the family area. They was like, man, look at what you did. So like my takeaway, I cannot guarantee that won't happen because I was just so excited and I didn't know it happened. Obviously, if I didn't plan, I would like to celebrate a different way besides taking a hard fall on the ground and potentially injuring myself. But man, it was just a great moment. Just the series of events that led to it, man. We were battling our butts off. We thought we had a 4th down stop, got called for a flag that, was debatable.
Yeah.
So they get all the way down there and they go for it on 4th down, and man, they make a heck of a play. AD made a heck of a play, just running to the ball, physical tackle, big momentum shifter. And man, so I think that just let your emotions loose, man. I was smart. I didn't run on the field. I was where I was supposed to be at. I waited till he got to the sideline. So wasn't gonna get us a flag. But I think just, man, our team, man, we just feed off of that, man. Like, just let your emotions show. We encourage our players that, man, in the right way. Be passionate out here. Football is a passionate game, man. Celebrate those small victories within the game and then lock back in. And I think just us being able to show that and demonstrate that is great, man. Because I honestly believe the play that those guys made on that goal line stand, I feel like that really shifted the game right there. Like, it was a good game going back and forth, but now after that moment, those guys were like, you guys aren't scoring. Yeah. Like, you guys not scoring. You guys pulled out everything you guys can do, and you guys can't get it done against us. And I think that was a great change, great moment. So my takeaway is, make sure I continue to work out so I can at least try to brace myself and limit the damage on a fall if it happens again. And then takeaway is, man, I would like to have more of those. That means we're making a lot of plays out there.
There you go.
That would be great.
Well, we knew when you were hired last year that you'd bring the passion. So you delivered.
Definitely.
Can't wait to see more of it, man.
Awesome.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Welcome back into the Lounge Podcast. We're coming to you from the SeatGeek studio. We also want to mention our partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. They are an official sports betting partner of the Baltimore Ravens. DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. Well, thank you to Zach. He's always been one of my favorite interviews as a player and now as a coach. He's got
one of my favorite dudes, not just interviews. Yeah, for sure. He's a great dude.
He's a great dude, and I think that comes across when you sit down and talk with him. Great energy, and I think you can see why players like and respect him. Like, he's authentic. He's on it. He's honest. He shoots you straight. But he also brings like a lot of positive energy and wants the best for players. And I think that came across in his first year as coordinator. I think he's only going to grow in that regard.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this defense coming up in 2025. I think, it's also much of the focus so far personnel-wise this offseason has been with the offense, right? You re-sign Ronnie Stanley, you re-sign Patrick Ricard, you bring in D-Hop, right? The offense is
Cooper Rush as a backup quarterback.
Cooper Rush is a backup quarterback, exactly. Like, the offense has kind of gotten the love so far, but I really think that now it's kind of time for the defense, and I do think, particularly from a draft perspective, that could be the avenue where this Ravens defense really gets an infusion of new talented youth.
So the Ravens have 11 draft picks.
Yeah.
How many in your mind are on the defensive side? I'll put you on the spot right now.
Whew. I'm gonna say that.
You can't say, if you say 6, that's just,
I was going to say 7.
That was my number too. My number was going to be 7. So
it could even be like 8. I mean, I think it could even be higher. That'd be pretty stacked. But I'll go with 7.
That's what I'm thinking too.
I think you're going to have multiple picks on the defensive line. You're going to have a safety. You're going to have a corner. That's 4 right there. You're going to have an edge rusher. That's 5.
Right.
You could double inside linebacker 6.
Yeah, you could double up on the defense line. You could double up in the secondary.
You could take two corners certainly. Yeah. That's 6 right there that I think are almost a slam dunk.
Yeah.
So
getting to 8 or getting to 7 is not challenging. 8 would be a little bit surprising, I think, but I think 7 probably is the sweet spot, assuming they have all 11 of those picks, and then that gives Zach and the staff a lot to work with. And I'm with you. I think the defense is going to be really good. I think that they're going to pick up where they left off at the end of the year. The second half of last season, they were the best defense in the league. They have a lot of pieces. Of course, there's some replacing, but you have your core players coming back. You have your pass rushers. You have your interior defense lineman and BK. You have your middle linebacker Roquan. You have Kyle Hamilton. You have Marlon Humphrey. You have Nate Wiggins, who he had great things to say about. So I think that, like, from a core, your foundational standpoint, your pieces are in place.
Yeah, it's almost these complementary pieces like we were talking about. He's talking about a third safety, third corner, the inside linebacker depth, defensive line. Like, they have a good defensive line. How can you bolster that.
Yeah.
It's complementary pieces that also allow your stars to really do what they do best, to shine.
Yep.
Right. And that's a good position to be in.
Like those are important positions, but anytime you're talking about like the third of anything, you're in a pretty good starting
Exactly.
point. Like
exactly.
So I think, I'm excited about this defense with Zach, and I think that it's going to be a great group, and he's going to continue to shine as a defensive coordinator. So as always, you can send us your thoughts and your emails to the lounge at ravens.nfl.net. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening, and we will talk with you again soon.